Hello everyone. This is the third devlog for a little roguelite space game that I've been working on, about jumping a small fleet of arc ships from star system to star system, building temporary space stations in order to refuel your ships for the next jump before a terrible swarm overwhelms you. In this update, I'll talk a little bit about star charts, module systems and thermals, and a lot about missile launchers. Building on the last devlog, the star navigation screen now includes the ability to filter stars by classification. Here you see me filtering for colder, redder stars in their main sequence, while here I'm searching for much larger blue and white stars. The spectral and luminosity class determines the type of planets, orbits, and resources available in the next mission, so this feature should help you plan your journeys more effectively. Jumping back into the main game loop, one thing I'm excited to see coming together, even though it's not particularly visually interesting, is more concrete module systems. Modules are the pieces of a station, the things that you build to add functionality. That's been around for a while, but now each module is defined as a collection of systems. Each system has a specific impact on the state of your station. For example, here you see a radiator module is made up of a thermal system and a power draw system. These radiators use power to reduce heat in your station. Solar panels, on the other hand, produce power and have a small net heat gain as well. The core of the station is made up of many systems, including batteries, cargo storage, and docking. At the moment, all modules include at least a thermal system, as all modules impact the heat distribution across your station. Since heat management is so important, let's focus on it for a little longer here. There's an overlay you can use to get a quick glimpse of how your station is doing. The default gain or loss of typical modules will depend on the power of the star, how far away from it you are, and whether you're in the shadow of the planet. Stations close to the star will absorb more thermal energy than those far away. Some modules, like the mass reactor, will generate heat, and some, like the radiator, will reduce heat. Essentially, if modules become too hot, they begin to stress, which means that they function less effectively and impact the madness pressure of any docked crew. The specifics of the crew is for a later video. For now, the takeaway is, too much heat is bad. So let's talk about missiles. As some folks have already pointed out, there's elements of this game that are inspired by the 2004 Battlestar Galactica series, most notably, a fleet under pursuit, constantly jumping away. Another visual inspiration from that show is the silent missiles creeping slowly towards the fleet. I've linked a clip to what I'm talking about below. In this case, I've flipped that around. You are the one firing the missiles, and the tension is whether you have enough to adequately deal with the progressively larger waves of the swarm. Here I have a single missile launcher, capable of firing just 2 missiles, but that should be enough to deal with the small waves that occur earlier on in the game. The next clip shows a larger swarm, but this time I have 6 launchers capable of launching 5 missiles each. One thing I've struggled with recently is that the behavior of the swarm is driven by compute shaders, and the real-time data about the swarm lives mostly on the GPU. Getting info back from the GPU, for example for targeting, can be tricky and expensive. My current solution involves splitting the swarm into a grid, counting the individual agents per cell, and then reading back to a much smaller list of most dense cells intermittently. This vastly reduces the readback time and works well enough for the missile targeting requirements. There's still a few bugs to work out, but so far I'm happy with the effect. In this clip, even though I have a bunch of launchers, the swarm is substantial enough afterwards to overwhelm my station and ships. Currently, the missile guidance system seeks out the most dense regions of swarm, but I'm aiming to have a few different targeting strategies for you to choose from, so that there's a bit more player agency in not just how many missiles you have, but how you use them as well. As you can see, even though I have a large volley of missiles, and they're making a significant dent in the swarm, it's just not enough, and the swarm will overwhelm my fleet. This is a situation you'll want to avoid, either by jumping out earlier or stockpiling even more missiles than I have here. The last thing I'll mention that's happened this month is I've started collaborating with a fantastic concept artist who I'll link to below. We're exploring different ideas for a steam capsule and concept art, and I just wanted to share some of the early but already really exciting stuff coming out of that. You can check out more of Matt's stuff below. And that's it! It's been a roller coaster of a month, and not everything has gone to plan, but I'm really happy with the progress made since the last video. I believe I'm still on track for playtesting by December, so if you're interested in that, please make sure to subscribe here or sign up to the mailing list below. And if you have any thoughts about what you've seen here, or stuff you'd like to see in the game, please let me know. The next major hurdle for me is to set up a Steam page, and to do that I need to decide on a final name for the game. Got any ideas?